I'll go ahead and um, so we're gonna be doing something different today. As you notice, this is supposed to be like a tea time live stream, but I've completely doing something else entirely. The reason why is because it where I live right now, it's really warm. We're going kind of through like a warm spell, and I don't like hot tea when it's warm. I don't drink cold tea either. Um, so yeah, and so I've actually invited Shiloh to to be on this live stream, and so we're just waiting on him as well because um, he's still getting ready. I kind of invited him last minute. Actually, it was more like 15 minutes ago. I was like, "You want to be on the live stream?" And he was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "By the way, you got 15 minutes to be ready." So, but what we're gonna do is it's gonna be just like a tea time live stream. You can talk to me. I've got my my chat open so I can see what you guys are saying, and then as well as the fact that we're gonna be checking out RMSQM Wiki, which is my website for the all information about the Queen Mary. So, because obviously these tea time streams um, normally we talk about the Queen Mary a lot, you know, because that's kind of the theme of them. But yeah, this is very much different from what we normally do because normally I'm sitting with my tea set and everything, and you know we're just enjoying that. So, um, but yeah, I'm just waiting on Shiloh. But go ahead and ask me any questions you guys have or anything you want to talk about, and I'll respond. But anyway, Andrew says hi, Alex. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Kevin, and hello, Max. I only see those people so far, but I'm sure there's more. But anyway, I thought I might show you guys this thing. So this is RMSQM Wiki. It's a website that Shiloh and I had started, and basically it's an encyclopedia of everything about the Queen Mary, and it's got a menu here with six basic pages that you can go to. We've got a history page, an engineering page, a design page, and we've got a page where you can explore the decks of the ship virtually. I mean, you can learn about them, celebrities, and updates about the Queen Mary. The updates are kind of cool, but I think we'll go. Well, why don't we go into history real quick? Because that's generally what probably a lot of people come to the website to read about. And we're still working on the history page, but essentially each page can have a section where it leads to another page of the website. So we've got a summary of the construction and launch page. So that talks all about, well, you got a summary right here, but if you want, you can click on the construction and launch page and it will take you to this page here where you can see there's different headings and things under this page. And we've got everything from the construction and launch of the ship and the history of that to naming the ocean liner, christening it. We have, oh, hello, Mark. Hello, Jeffrey. Hello, Tyler. It's been a long time since I watched your stream. Alex, I'm interested in all the movies and shows Queen Mary was in. Is it possible to do a video about it? I don't think I can, no. That would just be a lot of research, and I'd be using a lot of copyrighted video and stuff. But in any case, as I was saying, you got information on fitting out the Queen Mary. I mean, it's just packed with information and these photographs. Like, if you want to click on a photograph, it'll take you to a more expanded version. And even then, there's other more expanded versions of that, because this original photograph that we have on here is in basically like ultra high definition. So if we click down here, it'll take us to this. So you see, and you can even zoom in. Where's the thing? There we go. You can even zoom in that way. And there we go. So yeah, that's one of the cool features of this website that I really like is that we have these high quality pictures that we can use. and we have, leaving the River Clyde, being stuck in the mud. The Queen Mary was stuck in the mud, if you can believe that. It took 8 different tugboats to pull her out of the mud and get her back going, because this was right after she launched and was going down the Clyde out to sea. Let's see. Hello, Isaiah. Hello, Isaiah. And sea trials, the sea trial story is really interesting. We often talk about how SS United States could go 38 knots, right? But more importantly, how during SS United States' maiden voyage, it went just over 34 knots, and that's how it captured the blue ribbon from Queen Mary. But if you can believe it, it's actually believed that the real calculation for Queen Mary's speed during her speed trials was actually 34 knots, not 32.84, the way it's often believed. And that's because the ship's speed was measured from land, and the ship has to do a measured mile, so it goes from one end of that mile to the other end of that mile, and however long it takes for the ship to get from that end of the mile to the other end is calculated as the average speed, and then they can determine, this ship can reach a maximum of about 32.84 knots. Well, the thing was when they measured this, the Queen Mary was actually coming angled towards the land, which actually skews the measurement off a bit. So they didn't take that into account. They just take it from line of sight. So in actuality, the Queen Mary is probably traveling a longer distance. So however long it took her to get from the eyesight of one end of that mile to the other end was actually probably much faster. So she was probably going about 34 knots when she did that. In fact, some supporting evidence for that is that there were plenty of engineers on the ship when that happened, and they were able to calculate that Queen Mary is going about 34 knots. One person calculated that she went 38 for a brief period, but ultimately the average was 34. Let me see if Shiloh is ready, because I think he just messaged me. Let me just how do I go with this? There we go. I just need to check. I try to keep our messages private, so that way you guys don't see nothing. All right, back to, there we go. So yeah, so that's an interesting little tidbit that you probably didn't know about the Queen Mary. And if we go back to, so at the bottom of every page we got a navigation page, so we can go back to history of the Queen Mary. And one of the ones I've been working on more recently is this pre-war career page. So this is like the period after she went into service, and all the way up until World War II. And so we have the, before the maiden voyage, we have the royal family visits the Queen Mary and all of that. And then you have the maiden voyage. And even after the maiden voyage, I've recently just did this, which was the race between SS Normandy and Queen Mary for the blue riband. And you can learn the difference between the blue riband and the Hales Trophy. They're not the same thing, by the way. A lot of people think that they are, but they really are not. Let me just check what Shiloh is saying real quick. I just need to... Okay, he's ready. Let me just... I will be right back, folks. I'm going to mute myself on here, but you'll still see my face. hold on. Oh, there we go. Okay, so everyone, I just unmuted myself so that way I can talk to you. So we got Shiloh on the line here, but I've got to disconnect my camera from OBS so that way I can get Shiloh and me on here. So give me a brief second. In fact, I'll just go ahead and share my screen so you guys can see us both while we're doing this. I also can't figure out, there's like a new feature on OBS here that is showing me and Shiloh's screen, and I can't, where is the thing? I can't, I don't know why it's doing it. So like in the corner of OBS, right where all my controls are, is your camera and then my camera trying to do its thing, and it's blocking everything, so I can't control what's happening on the screen right now. This is so, where is my, is that it? There we go. Okay, I was able to turn that thing back. So now everybody can see that there's this thing here. Shiloh, you can see it too, right? Because I'm streaming to you. And you can see how this thing is blocking the way, right? That's never been there before. I have no idea how it's doing that. Okay, so let me try and... there's a way to do this. I can't... Where's my camera? Ah, right, okay. Alright, now... there we go. And then... let me just adjust this. Okay. It's blocking that too? Oh, you must be joking. Ugh. Why is it doing this to me? Yeah, it's never done this before. Okay, well, okay, so crop left side, I think it needs to be 2500. I can't see what it says. Oh, okay. Oh, it needs to be more, 2800. Okay. Oh, too much. Okay, 2700 then. Okay, I'll be a little bit cut off, but that works better. Okay. Sorry about this, everybody watching the live stream. I know this is like, what in the world is going on with you guys, but there's always some kind of issue. And now I gotta fix this on let's see, settings, voice and video. Come on, come on, come on. Where's the video thing? Voice, microphone. Oh, I got that. Where's the video thing? Voice processing. Advanced. Where's the thing for video? Oh, it's a different tab now. Okay. ZVE10. That's correct. Test video. Of course it's not going to work. All right. And try this. Gotta unplug my camera real quick. There we go. Okay. So you should see me now, don't you? Okay. Okay. Sorry for this, folks. I'm also realizing people can't hear you, so I gotta figure that out now. It's not this one. I know. I should have thought about it sooner, but for the longest time I was thinking like, what am I going to do about this live stream, because it's too hot to drink tea. And I'm sure that people can't hear you right now. So
oh boy, yeah, I presume.
I've got this hooked up the right way. I don't know why it's not. Let's try default. I don't think that'll work, but all right, say something. No, okay. Try. I know it's this one. Say something. No, it's not working. Jeez, I really hate this. Okay. Is there a way I can get your sound? What? That's not possible. Let me turn up my volume. Is there a way I can get your sound? What? That's not possible. Let me turn up my volume. No, they can't hear you because I'm watching the live stream on my phone and I can't hear you. So I guess it was working a second ago and then it just stopped working.
Those settings with the
oh, gotcha. There we go.
Oh, is it working now?
Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Okay.
People saw I was using the same setting over and over again, and then I clicked on it again, and it's working now. Okay, so now I just got to figure out why my camera isn't working with Discord.
Yeah. There you are.
Okay, so that's working, but then it disappears.
Maybe like unselect it and then select it again. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I guess the camera just wasn't on. Okay.
Oh, I didn't even look at that button. I feel stupid.
So weird. Okay, so now everybody, we should be. Is Shiloh ordering pizza?
I just saw that. Yeah.
Such a weird question.
It is.
All right, so. All right, so folks, we're back. Sorry about that.
For real this time.
I really wanted Shiloh on here because, you know, it's more interesting with, you know, two people talking about, you know, nerdy stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, and obviously technology is not my strong suit, and technology has just been not on my side today. So but yeah, so what was the so on this page, this history page, I've like this whole thing between Queen Mary and Normandy. It's brand new, so it's just barely been put on the page. It says now no faces. Oh, I know why.
What happened? Oh, I can. Yeah, I can see I just looked at the stream. Yeah.
I'm so dumb. Okay, let me try this. All right.
I gotta fix something on my end too.
You do? Why?
Oh, never mind. Okay. No, because last time, remember, I hooked up the microphone and it said that it said it was connected, and then when I tried it again, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I just looked at it again because I figured that it wouldn't connect again, and I guess it did. So we're okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's undo that. Do I have a background image I can put on? I'm sure I do. These things always have a background image. Yeah, there we go. It's not much of a background image, you guys, but it'll do. see if I undo that, you guys can see the background image. It's Queen Mary arriving in Long Beach.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at that.
But what we'll do is I'll use this thing, and then I'll make it extra small. Wait. Oh, it's on the wrong side of the... Of course it is. Okay. Have to deal with this thing
And
again.
we love these technical.
Don't we?
Yeah.
I can't. Okay, so that needs another 0. Right? Okay. Okay. I don't think that worked. Crop left, crop right. Needs to be... Let's try 2500.
I should move this in its own tab.
No.
Oh, my bad.
Something is... Oh,
What?
it's because I'm editing the wrong thing.
Oh, that'll do it.
Reset. Oh, this is not gonna work. Okay. I think that was 26. No? This one's 25. Okay. Bottom. We move down here. Okay. Continue editing. Top is 100. Is it gonna work? Why is it not working?
You're asking me?
It didn't work. There we go. Okay. Gosh. So you guys watching this live stream, you can see how frustrating this is sometimes when I have to deal with this technology.
Hmm?
So-called technology.
Yeah.
Okay, now this one is the one I meant to edit. It's gotta be 0 from the right.
What's working on the?
The OBS just started working again.
Oh. What's weird, right? Is the I have the stream open on another tab, and the
Oh, it's working again.
and the play bar is invisible.
It is?
Yeah, and I reloaded the page and it's still invisible.
Oh.
Yeah, but it works, so I'll just leave it be.
Yeah. Okay, well, this stupid thing doesn't want to work, so...
Is it working again? Or did you end it?
What if I try this? This is the Queen's Cross podcast settings.
Oh,
But-
maybe that'll work. What am I gonna do right now? How did I just forget? Here we are.
There should be a... Is that... There we go. Okay. That window might be kind of tiny. But I think it'll work.
It'll work. I mean, it's better than what we had 2 seconds ago, so.
Yeah. Let me just...
All right.
All right, folks, we're going to do the best we can because this is not really working very well. But anyway, so Everybody's like giving me words of encouragement. Thank you, you
I saw that.
guys.
Yeah, that was funny.
I just don't understand. Like sometimes this technology, it's so frustrating. I just can't
It
figure it
is.
out. So anyway,
Is there a way I can?
what we haven't got is any questions about like Queen Mary or anything. So it's not. I don't really have anything to answer. But I mean, I guess we can just keep exploring this website because until somebody has
Yeah.
something that they want to talk about. But usually when I do like a tea time stream, like there's like 100 questions. So I'm
Yeah, and
usually
then
never.
we have the site open to answer them. We get none. I mean,
Yeah. Oh, your microphone has to be vertical.
oh, it does.
Yeah. And it has to be as close to you as humanly possible.
Well, this is at the edge of my desk here, so.
Yeah. Because I had gotten an email that was explaining that what the use of the microphone was and all that. So I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, folks, let's ask the audience, what deck of the Queen Mary should we explore? What place on the ship do you want to kind of talk about or learn about on this live stream? I know we only have like 30 minutes left.
Yeah.
We spent like 30 minutes trying to figure out how the live stream works. Mark says R deck. Okay.
R deck.
So R deck. When you go to each page, and again, you know, for this live stream, the page is compressed on your screen, you guys. But when you go on the website yourself, it is fully expanded and it looks nice. But for this live stream, it's compressed so that way it fits onto your screens better. Yeah, you get a color-coded deck plan of each deck. As long as the page is near completion, I usually do a color-coded version of the deck plan. But on every deck is a deck plan. And this one will tell you kind of all the things on our deck. Everything that is red or dark red is for crew. And then you've got this magenta, purplish, pink color. I think it's purple, but people tell me it's pink. That is the lounges. And then blue is for passengers. Whether it's light blue or dark blue, it's for passengers. So, yeah. So, what is with people asking for the potato room? I have no idea. Like, I feel like that's an inside joke that I don't get or something.
Yeah, I think it is from Titanic, Honor and Glory.
Titanic, but I don't get. Like, I think it's like an inside joke because every live stream that I do these things, either Titanic or Queen Mary, someone asks about the potato room. I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. So on our deck, we have all these different spaces. Again, this is all compressed for you guys, so it looks weird on your screen. But you can see these different images of third class areas. I want to update this image because I have a better image of it now, but at the same time, it's not necessarily better. It's much darker. This at least is all lit up.
It's just more updated, yeah.
Yeah. Linda says, hi, Alex and Shiloh. Did you get any video of the rooms/suites on Queen Mary other than the one you stayed in? Actually, yes. We were taken on a tour around the ship. Let me move this over here. And I can actually show you guys some of the stuff that we got to see. Some of the I got to talk into my microphone because I have a certain setting to block out the sound of my fan. Yeah, there are where is it? I don't know if you guys will be able to hear the sound, but I don't think that matters. Okay, so here's one of the cabins. Let me hold on. I have to move.
This is
this
M deck.
Well, I don't know. I'll say the cabin number in each video.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't help that this thing doesn't want to fit the size of the screen. Come on. Okay. You guys might hear the audio, but if not,
B.
yeah. So this is just a view of B309. Probably shouldn't show them on the... But you can't see their faces at the moment. And then I did an interesting thing where I kind of pretended to open the door and then like walk in and then get a view of the room. That's for like future purposes. If I want to show the cabin in a future video, I want it to look more professional. So then I just do like a weird like zoom in kind of thing.
Right.
And then I don't think this is this might be the same bathroom for that same cabin.
I think it is. Yeah.
I forgot. If people can hear our audio in this, I hope you and Chris didn't say anything weird.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
So this is the shower, and it's still got like the little like faucet nubs for the different hot and cold, fresh and salt water, but you can see that they've got new like plumbing fixtures and stuff for the bathroom.
Yeah.
Here's another cabin. In B327.
Oh, I guess Brad's in the live stream too.
Is he? Oh, there he is. Yeah, hi, Brad.
Hi, Brad.
Yes, this is B327. As you can see, I'm just kind of...
That space there with the telephone and the chair, that used to be a wash basin.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this looks a lot like the other cabin that we walked into that we weren't supposed to be in.
Yeah, I was about to say, because those the wardrobe placement exactly the same.
Yeah.
The bathroom was
similar spot, but not the entrance.
No,
the entrance was...
Yeah, but it was turned the other way. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not in the same orientation that this one's in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
so
it's interesting
modern...
too because that one in there, right? The frame to the walls, that silver strip frame, is still standing, but the wall's gone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So B327. Surely there's more B327. I think maybe I just didn't have enough time.
I think this is the last.
No, this is no. There's more. Okay, there's more.
What? I think B327 was the last one we saw.
The bathrooms on the ship are really, really clean, you guys. It's weird because like I was reading reviews like maybe a year ago, but it was like, oh, the bathrooms aren't even clean, and and then there was a guy who posted a video and it showed like the enamel coming off the tub, and I'm like, surely that's a rare occurrence,
Yeah.
And sure enough, we're going around these rooms and they're all in pristine condition.
Even that one room we went into with the walls collapsing in, they weren't even the original walls; they were just whatever Disney or whatever put in. That tub was still in pristine condition.
Yeah, I was trying to think like what walls collapsing.
No, in that
I forgot about it. Yeah,
unused cabin. Yeah, but
I forgot that was even a thing.
I mean, they had stuff sitting in the tub, but you could tell that the tub looked brand new. Like it wasn't damaged. It wasn't old. It wasn't flaking. It was usable.
Yeah. So Pigeon Guy says, I would like to learn more about the first class cabins.
Oh, okay.
I I think
Well,
we could. Well, we don't
we're
really
soon.
have.
No, but hopefully soon we'll get the update on the wiki because we have that in progress.
Yeah. So yeah, what Shiloh was talking about was on our website. We plan to have like everything that ever exists in the Queen Mary should eventually be talked about on the website. Thing is, we have someone working on the history and information of all the first class cabins and even some of the second and third class cabins. But that information is not ready to go up on the website
Yeah.
yet, and so we don't have it. The person's still working on it.
It and
Um,
it might take a little while because like the the amount of information is extremely extensive. There's gonna be photographs. There's gonna be just a long string of paragraphs basically talking about the rooms, and it covers each special stateroom, each suite, and I mean, even when that is ready to publish on the website, I'm sure we're still going to be adding to it as well. So, but to my knowledge, when it does publish, it will be the largest and most detailed, I guess, article written about the cabins.
it will be. It'll be unbelievable. I'm actually really excited for it because I don't know much about the cabins. I mean, there are people I know who can walk circles around me with the information they know about cabins, including Shiloh himself. But yeah, once we have that information and we're able to put it on the website, you'll be able to learn about all the important I can't say every single cabin on the ship will be spoken about because there's a lot
Well,
of cabins that
the
are repeats of each other.
what I was talking to the person that's working on it, I was talking to him
Hello?
detail and attention to the
Oh,
special
you cut
cabins,
out for a second there.
Huh? Oh, I cut out for a second. Sorry. No, what I was talking about to the person that's working on it is to divert all the attention and detail pretty much to the big cabin. So basically, the suites, special staterooms, the first class. But because, like you just said, the standard first class cabin, the standard second class and third class cabins, they will still have a a section in the article, I guess we would call it, but it's just going to be a basic not summary, but it's going to be a description of only one type of cabin because they pretty much all look the same. And
Mhm.
sometimes there'll be special variants of a cabin, so then those will have their own section. But like for what we're looking at right here, this third class cabin, because they pretty much look all identical, they'll just be one extremely descriptive rundown of one type of cabin.
Mhm. Yeah, but otherwise, everything that is every cabin that's different from each other, like
Yes,
something that's majorly different, they'll
but
be
it
talked about.
obviously, especially the first class cabins, because those are the cream of the crop on the ship. So those are going to have a lot of detail.
Yep, I'm excited for that. Honestly, I really want to see it.
Hmm.
It'll be.
Well, I was gonna say, and like to add on that, like we might even, because I was thinking about doing this too, we might even be able to add a little passenger list of the people that stayed in the individual rooms.
Yeah, that's that's gonna be a lot of information to put down.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
look
yeah.
forward to it because we'll be the only website really that has that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And I think
so
the information we'll have is not only like in the abundance that it's going to be in is going to be largest, but I think the little tidbits of information aren't even anywhere else on the internet. I think we will have information that is pretty much just not anywhere else.
yeah, um, I wanted to show people this because this is something they probably don't really realize is that the doors to the first class lifts that still operate today are not the same doors that were used back then. The doors back then were operated by the lift operator, so he would open the doors for you and stuff.
Mm.
But there were two sets of doors. I think one of them. Well, I don't know what the outer doors look like, but you can see the inner
They
doors in this image.
the outer doors looked pretty much the same.
Wood?
Mhm. Because if you look Footage we have of the maiden voyage, and there's a scene in Piccadilly Circus. It's the starboard side elevators. There's a scene where the doors are completely shut, and then they open, and then there's a lady that walks out into the main hall. From what I remember, those doors are pretty much identical to the new ones.
Oh, you mean the ones that they're identical to the ones today?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Those are steel, but
yeah. The outer ones are the same, but the inner ones.
okay.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Then the outer doors are steel, but as you can see in this image, the inner doors are wood, and
Which they
so
don't, yeah, they don't even have those inner doors anymore, except the one that you have your mouse on right now, which is there.
yeah. So folks, if you get in this lift today, on the back end of the lift is this set of wood doors that accesses the old Turkish baths and the swimming pool. And the swimming pool. And you can see that today on the ship. Um,
Since
I'm
we're
trying
on
to see
this deck. Oh, sorry. What were we saying?
Oh, I was just gonna say I'm trying to see if there's something specific people want to learn
Oh,
about besides
I
the
was gonna say though,
cabins, because
like something interesting to mention since we're already on our deck here is that something you were talking about recently is the swimming pool entrance door contraption.
oh, you're right. Okay, so yeah, this has been kind of talked a little bit about online recently. Um, I have a better version of this picture, by the way. I got to put that up
Put in there,
soon.
yeah. I think I've seen that one that you have, yeah.
Yeah, let me find the. Oh, I don't think I have a picture here of the door. Oh, I do have it right here.
Yeah, but it's not really
Yeah, like
sufficient.
bloop. Okay, so in this picture, this is the vestibule for the first class swimming pool, and as you can see, the vestibule is open. Um, so yeah, you can't really see much from this picture, but it's a
From
revolving door. And the thing is that it's not like any old revolving door where you go in and you push and it rotates and you get out the other end. This one's kind of weird because it's a revolving door, but it also in the center has doors that open out outward like that. And today
like
they
French
can lock those doors, but the ones that swing are also original, so they're not modern. Um, but yet the whole mechanism, the whole contraption can rotate, and so
well, at least that's what it looks like. Because I've never seen it. I've never seen a picture of it rotated. I've never seen it moving ever. I've always seen it in that position.
yeah,
But
my
well, what I did see you right, and I do agree with, is if it does rotate, maybe when they do close the room up for the night or whatever, there's like an entire like on that whole back side of the panel, it's just wood. So when they would rotate it, it would just be a wood inlay in covering for where the door is supposed to be. You know what I mean?
I don't think it's wood because if you look at it, it's glass on all sides.
Well, I know, but I'm saying maybe they had. I don't know because I don't know what the original one looked like. You know what I mean? They could have
Yeah,
changed something to it. I don't know, but either way, the sides of it, it would make sense if it does rotate. The way they would lock that room up is if they rotate the entire contraption so the half circle doors are in the space of the entrance to the doors.
yeah. Um, sorry, I'm just reading people's
Yeah.
comments. Thank you so much, Stephanie, for that. I really appreciate it. And then Jeffrey asked, "Do you have any of your merch from your store you could show?" Only what's on the website. And I don't know. I don't want to. I want to do something more fun than show merchandise. So, but yeah. There's a sweet thanks. The Queen Mary website doesn't have a lot of photos of the newer cabins. Uh, Photos of the newer cabins.
Like newer photos of the suites and stuff, or
Yeah, maybe that's what she meant. That they don't
Maybe.
have newer photos. They do though, because I was just
Well,
on their website and like all their
they
photos of
do.
their cabins are new.
Oh, they are. They're not still using the ones from like 2010 or
Mm-mm.
whatever. Oh.
No, they're using all new ones with the new blue runners and everything. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. Um, I don't know, guys. Is there any like place on the ship that you want to learn about? Um, because the only suggestion I've read so far is cabins, but we don't have that yet. We
If not, I guess we can just go to prom deck, and there's a bunch of stuff there.
I guess so, but hello, hidden gem reactions. How many people are watching? I have no idea.
See if I can see. Oh,
33, I guess. Ozzy says the alcohol room. Okay, so that's another place that unfortunately we don't have yet.
yeah,
But I mean,
yeah.
technically it's should be here on F deck. So no, that's the wrong one. It's got to be E. There we go. So on E deck, the reason why I thought it was F deck is because E deck used to be F deck. But on E deck, there are places for like where there were places for alcohol and all that, all the storage of that.
Yeah, the freezers.
Yeah. So if I click on this color coded deck plan, and then I zoom in, whoa, that's too far. I guess that's the best I can do. I can't zoom in or zoom out any smaller, but you can see there's rooms for like lager beer and minerals, water or spirits. I guess spirits. I'm thinking
Well,
champagne
mineral
and white wines.
mineral water
That's what
on
I
one
just
side.
said.
I know, but I'm saying they probably had both. They probably had mineral water on one side of the room, and
Oh, I guess so.
yeah.
And then red wine and spirits and things. So the reason why I can't put this on the website is because I don't really. Oh, my camera froze.
Oh,
It's interesting. Isn't that great?
it's frozen for me too. Yeah.
It's frozen for everybody because it's. I think I must have bumped the cord or something. Come on.
Oh,
Disconnected. Wow, we're having all kinds of technical difficulties today.
we are.
Like it's my camera's completely gone. It doesn't show it on the thing.
Oh, so it must be disconnected then. I hear like a beep or something when you whatever you're doing.
Yeah, that's because I keep plugging in and
Oh.
unplugging the camera.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
There we
Alright.
go.
All right. So, again, so back to this. These rooms I don't have pictures of because they're just storage rooms. So nobody really thought to take pictures of storage rooms.
I'm sure there are pictures of them, but they just haven't surfaced yet. Because there's pictures that we got recently that we thought we'd never get, like of the.
Well, I mean, okay. So let me be more clear. They would have had a photographer go around the entire ship and photograph at least one picture of every space on the ship. And that's at least the bare minimum of what we would have in existence.
Yeah.
The problem is that things like the lager beer room, if somebody owns that picture, and even it may just be one photograph that it was ever taken of that room, if somebody owns that picture, it's probably not their top priority to post that online. So
Well, and it just might be floating around somewhere because if the original is sitting in Liverpool University or whatever, and then or in the Cunard archives they still have it, but if somebody has a copy of it, that copy could be sitting in an antique store right now. You know what I mean? You would have no way of knowing where that is. So, but yeah.
yeah.
And if somebody does own it, maybe they don't even know what it is. They just look at the picture and it looks like a storage room, and it could be in a building, it could be in underground bunker for all you know. You know what I mean? It's just something that doesn't look interesting to the normal person, but to us, that's priceless because we need them. But yeah,
Yeah. So essentially, that's why I can't really put it on the website, because unless I find a photograph of that room, or unless some really interesting information comes out about that room, there's not really anything to talk about. Like,
you know, but it might come out eventually because, like I said, we recently got pictures that we never thought we'd even have, like the
yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is that you can't make an article about a storage room.
No, but
What
I'm
am I
saying
going to
we at least
say? Like, oh, this
you
is
can
where the bodies were
yeah.
stored during World War II? Like, there's no history to
No,
it.
no, I know, but
So
at least you can just add it into the I don't know.
maybe. I mean, it really depends. This website is supposed to be more about the information than it is about the photographs. The
No, I
photographs are
know,
there to help convey the information,
but
but
it's
but
still
I
a good
can't put
visual.
every photograph that exists on this website, because then the website would be full of photographs.
Yeah.
So, but let me see. I think someone had recommended a place. Okay,
Something about
so
the first
someone
class.
ballrooms. Do you have dining rooms yet?
Well, I
Sheila,
saw
yeah, we have
library.
dining rooms. If we go up to our deck, because that's where it all is. Restaurant. They call it our deck for restaurant deck. I don't know why they couldn't have kept it as C deck for cuisine, but anyway. um,
That's a good point.
yeah, but as you can see, these 3 pink rooms on this deck plan, those are the dining rooms, and so they're listed here. So you can see third class areas. You got third class dining saloon. First class areas, you have the first class main restaurant. Second class areas, you got the second class restaurant. If we click on second class restaurant, it'll take you straight to that part of the page, and you can learn all about the second class restaurant and how it was decorated and how many people it held and what it looks like today. That kind of thing. Information about it during World War II. Um, the the first class main restaurant is such a big article, it required a page of its own. So there's like a whole page dedicated to it. Another thing I should probably mention, and you can't see it on your guys' screen because I couldn't fit it in this little tiny window, but there is a search engine at the top of every single page on the website. So if you're trying to figure out something, like you're like, oh, what about third class dining room, you can just type in like third class dining. It'll take you to a page where anything that has those words in it will show up. And so yeah.
I was gonna say I think the first class dining room is also linked into the Art Deco section too, the interior design.
What?
So when you go to the homepage and you have the menu and it's the interior design section,
Yeah.
I think you can access the dining room through there too.
Um. Probably. Um. I mean, it might be casually mentioned somewhere on
Yeah,
here.
because I'm pretty sure we put a link to it.
Yeah. Usually, like if I talk about another area, like right here, where I mention casually the first class main restaurant on our deck, and then there'll be a link to our deck there. I'll have to update this so that way it goes straight to the first class restaurant page. But because sometimes, we write these articles, and then years later we finish an article of that exact thing that was mentioned,
Right.
and then we have to later go back and link it. So this hasn't been linked yet, but there is a link to our deck from there. But yeah, so let me try to. Linda says, "What about the ballrooms?" So technically, there was only one ballroom on Queen Mary, but usually when people talk about the first class main lounge, they talk about it like it's a ballroom, and that's
Yeah.
usually what people mean. So, but basically, there was a first class ballroom, and we can click it here on the left side, and it takes us to a summary of the page of the ballroom, but then the ballroom has its own page. So you can click on it and go there, and there's a photograph of the original first class ballroom, which was removed during the war. Well, actually, just after the war, when they were converting the ship back into an ocean liner.
Yeah.
But you can learn about the ballroom and the artist Anna Zenkaisen who decorated it, and all the photographs and stuff. You can see how it transformed over the years because it became a tea room at one point. It was downsized to become a tea room. Then it became a boutique. And then after Long Beach, it was completely removed, and now it's just part of the entrance to Chelsea's Chowder House. But also on here is the first class main lounge. This is often today called the ballroom because it's got a large dance floor in the middle. And the passengers would have used this room for dancing on occasion, but it's not technically the ballroom.
From what I heard is pre-war, they actually used the main lounge for ballroom dancing more than they did for the room that they built the ballroom dancing for.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why they felt comfortable with getting rid of the original ballroom is because they just use the main lounge for it more often.
Yeah.
But you can learn about the main lounge. I have a new photograph that I could put in place of this.
That's right. Yeah, the restored the unicorns in battle. Yeah.
Yeah, but I like this photo because, so even though it shows the unicorns in battle before it was restored and it was all, grungy looking, the new photograph just doesn't capture the golden beauty of this photograph.
I like, I like the angle of that photograph too.
Me too. It's very creative. But yeah, the newer photo shows a much more, accurate depiction of the unicorns in battle. And then the projector room. So we got a photograph here of the projector room. We technically own at least two historic images of the projector booth.
Well,
but
the other one's of the second class main lounge.
No, there's one of the first class one facing the opposite.
Oh yeah,
direction
the other one. Yeah. But we have two separate ones. I don't think we have the third class one, right?
No, I don't think so.
We'll have to add that to the collection. No, but the other picture. Yeah, because I got
that. You see
I know. I saw that. Yeah.
It's doing that weird thing again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's one of those things where I was like, okay, we can't put like every photograph we own on this website, but we can choose the best photographs that we think really represent the subject matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you can learn about the projector booth in the main lounge, and
don't we even also have information on the equipment they used in there too?
Type
of camera?
Not yet. So
I have that information.
I have the information too. Like there's a casual mention of interesting equipment used in there, like the Pyrene automatic fire extinguisher, that kind of thing. And I was gonna put that in a page. You can see the page link here called Fascinating Gadgets, but I haven't made the page yet because it's a lot of information. And the website is really huge, and so the bigger the website gets, the slower it's going to be to see progress because, I can only work on like one article at a time.
Right.
But yeah, so there will be a Fascinating Gadgets page that talks all about the really interesting equipment on the ship that was state of the art for its time. So
I just saw a comment that asked about what happened to the officers' quarters and where they slept.
We have that article on the website. So if we go to Explore by Deck, we know the officers' quarters is on Sports Deck, so we can just go here. But if we didn't know, we could use the search engine at the top of the page and be like, officers' quarters, and it would take us there. But anyway, this is the Sports Deck, and normally you would click on that, but let's use the search engine real quick. So officers' quarters. And then immediately it takes us Sports Deck because it's listed right here, officers' quarters.
Yeah.
It should take us to that section, but it's not. But anyway, if we keep scrolling down, we'll see different parts of Sports Deck. But then we get to the section called Officers' Quarters. And so the photographs I have are basically the more modern exhibit of the captain's quarters. I don't have any historic photographs of the officers' quarters, but I do have information about the officers' quarters listed here.
I have them somewhere. I totally forgot I had them. I'm gonna have to add them in.
Holding out on me. Jeez.
I think Well, I don't really have ones of the officer. Well, maybe I do, but the ones I know for a fact I have are the captain's quarters.
Yeah, but the captain's quarters basically look the same as they do today.
Actually, it's his bedroom's completely the opposite as it looks today.
Really?
So his bed used to be backed up against the window that you look into the room.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Because his bed would be facing, like, if you were in his bed, he would be facing the bulkhead of the outer shell. So basically, where the side light is.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
But
Well,
his day room is pretty much the same.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can learn about the officers' quarters on this page, and the bridge as well, and you can see modern photographs of what the area looks like today. Although this isn't that modern because there's carpet here now.
That must be around from like 2015 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably have a more modern photograph that I can replace that with, because I took several photographs
Yeah.
back in February and back in May. So, but you can also learn about the engineers' promenade and the engineers' officers' quarters, which is the area that is above veranda. Beautiful photographs, honestly, of these two areas. Same
I
area,
think
but
I think these ones came from Cunard archives too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's what it looks like now.
yeah, Sir Winston's.
Hmm.
These photographs were so difficult because
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of photographs of Sir Winston's, but they're all the worst quality photographs you've ever seen. Like, we're talking like potatoes for cameras.
Even the one that was like on the official Queen Mary website, like the old picture, that was pretty pixelated too.
Yeah. So I had to sharpen these photographs digitally, just to make them presentable for the website, because they were, they were the equivalent of like an iPod screen in size. That's how small
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
pixel count
It was
was.
a really small ratio aspect.
Yeah, and so, but yeah. We also have a lifeboat page, so you can learn about the lifeboats. It's an incredibly detailed page. Like, holy moly, there's a lot of detail on this page. And
Yeah, there is. Yeah, it even talks about Titanic's boats.
yeah, the little clinker built lifeboats. Yeah,
That
talks
was
about
a that picture right there is actually a pretty rare picture.
this one. Yeah, really cool. And these two are also really rare.
Yeah, I have
This
a.
is
I gotta send it to you again because I keep forgetting. I have a color version of the one on the right there, and it's like I think it was an original photograph, but they kind of like colorized it by drawing. But it's an illustration of a guy with a rivet gun putting the boats together.
oh, I think I've seen that picture.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the folks at Thornycroft putting together the engines for the lifeboats. Fascinating engines. You can
Oh
learn
yeah.
all about them here. A picture of 18 of the 24 engines. Pretty neat. But there's like lots of interesting stuff, you guys. Like, it's not just like, for instance, like this here is like, it's not just engines, like not just diesel engines. Like there were like fascinating mechanisms, things
Well,
like heaters that
speaking
kept
of
the engines warm during like
speaking of that,
frozen weather.
scroll down real quick to the Davits. So, like this technology that was invented for the Queen Mary, right? They're still using that on ships today.
Hmm.
I have a if I go from my house to downtown a little bit, on the way there, there's like a marine training facility, and they have a model lifeboat. They have a model lifeboat, right? That's used for training, and it's the exact same davit that's on Queen Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These Taylor gravity davits, what's so interesting about them is they're operated on just one winch and one cable. And as the cable is let out, the whole davit will slide down its track.
Yep.
And then, like, I should actually be doing this diagonally. It'll slide down its track, and then as it gets down towards the bottom, it'll suddenly swing outwards like that, and
Yeah.
it'll swing the lifeboat away from the ship.
Yep.
and that's all operated off of just one cable being let out. So it's all just interesting little mechanisms that, like,
Hmm.
it's designed to automatically happen. And if that cable were to snap, for instance, that thing would still deploy the exact same way.
Yeah.
It would just
Right.
be much of a scarier ride.
I think they could. I think they
But
could even do it manually too.
they could do, yes, the
Hmm.
lowering of the lifeboat could be done manually, because the winch was designed so if the motor went out, you could still kind of have a guy up there who's turning the winch wheel,
Right.
and
I
then
think it was
it'll
like a huge
slowly
crank.
lower the boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a crank too, but
Yeah.
supposedly if you couldn't find the crank, and you could disengage the motor, and then what you can do is you can just turn a
Oh.
wheel.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And you can do that with most elevators today, actually. If you
Yes.
go up to the elevator motor house room, there's a flywheel, and you can turn the flywheel, and it will very, very slowly lower the elevator. But it's the same thing with these lifeboat davits. Is they had a flywheel, and you could actually turn that yourself if need be to slowly lower the lifeboat. It would take forever, but it would work.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they were all gravity based, and it's just really interesting stuff.
Hmm. Yeah.
The,
And
the fact that they just thought about all this.
well, and it's super cool to know too that they're still using that technology, almost exactly the
Yeah,
same. Yeah.
yeah. Um, oh, yeah, and there's a little bit of information about excuse me, the wooden lifeboats that were on the ship
Mm.
during and after the war, because they had added several wooden lifeboats using what is the name of those davits that Titanic had?
Oh.
Is it? It's probably in here somewhere. Welland, the Welland.
Well, and yeah.
So yeah, see, I was like trying to remember it. And I'm like, wait a minute, I've got the article right in front of me.
It's true. Like,
It's like, why was I trying to remember it?
I don't
But you
know.
can see here that they used the same davits, Welland davits, that would swing outwards just like on Titanic, and they lowered the wooden lifeboats, which were so four of them, if I remember correctly, were the same size as Titanic's lifeboats.
Yeah.
But then another four of them were much larger wooden lifeboats. So they were still the same basic design, just much larger than Titanic's, and they were made of wood.
Right.
And that those were installed during the war to assist with, because they had much more people on the ship.
Hmm.
And then after the war, they removed all but two of them, and two of them remained on the Queen Mary until she retired, and they were removed in Long Beach. But if you can imagine it, they had lifeboats on the Queen Mary that were basically the size of Titanic's lifeboats, and were sitting in Welland type davits.
Yep.
It's just it's
With
crazy. It's like that's
with
so it's
Olympic
crazy cool. I mean,
with Olympic benches too.
yeah.
Yep.
And we got information here about the individual lifeboats, so the history of them, what happened to each one, that kind of thing, where they are today. You can
Oh,
see the
there's
base of a.
that's what they look like now, but
Well, no, this is the base of a davit,
yeah.
and so because a lot of people they say, oh, they didn't need to remove those lifeboats. I'm like, well, here's the proof right here. This photograph.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be the bottom of a davit, but there's
Nothing there.
nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. It's like the base of the davit is so rusted and corroded. It's gone. There's nothing
Well,
to
and
support
also
the lifeboat.
well, and also those lifeboats too, because the interior was pretty much removed. The keel would have experienced a lot of stress in the center. So that was one of their other concerns as well.
Yeah. The Pigeon Guy says, is there any really good photos of the first class cabins? There are. It's just that we don't have them on the website yet.
Yeah.
So you'll have to wait till we actually add those. We have to get in contact with him because.
Well, I did, and he said that he's working on it still, but I don't know to what extent.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd like to have.
I know, yeah.
At least, like, as he completes parts of
He's-
it, I'd like to get, because if he sends it all at once, it'll take me years to put all that on the
That is
on
true.
the website.
Yeah, I have to
so
tell him that. Because, well, yeah, because like I was telling you, we have to because if you were to put images on there, right, it would be lower quality. So we have to literally source the images from our collection to match the section of the article that it's talking about.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is more a question for you, Shiloh. Logan asks, "What happened to the deck officer quarters where all the officers slept?"
Well, I
I
think
don't
that
know
was
what a
the one I
deck
read when we
officer
went
is.
to the section of the wiki.
The what?
I think that's the same comment I read when we went to the section of the wiki talking about that.
Oh, I could have sworn someone else was asking about officers' quarters. But
Let me
okay.
double check. But
Um,
I mean, when we kind of covered over it, I mean, like well, did we talk much about the engineering one? Just other than the fact that they existed.
oh, the engineers' officers' quarter. Well, we
Yeah.
didn't really talk about it, but it's on here. Where is it?
Yeah. I
Are we
mean,
even on the right? No, we're
I
not.
mean, for the most part, the officers' quarters do still exist in small quantity on sports deck forward underneath the bridge. I mean, not all of the cabins are there, but there's remnants of a pantry. Uh, well, technically two pantries, but there's one pantry that still looks somewhat original. And then there's remnants of the staff captain's lavatory, and then there's also the captain's day room and bedroom, and then chief engineer, no, not chief engineer, chief officer's cabin, and part of the, well, actually entirety of the
We'll have to create
staff captain.
like a photo montage, like just one image with a bunch of photos on it of
Yeah,
all those quarters. So that way I don't have to upload multiple photographs. It can just
that's
be
smart.
one big photo.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, but as for the engineering quarters on the aft of the ship, those are all gone. The space is still there. It's Sir Winston's now, like we mentioned, but there's no remnants of them. Even the windows are different too. The side lights, they're completely different.
Yeah. Um, Arnaud says, I recently built these rooms in the Minecraft ship, and the only thing I want to know now is the color of the floor, because I put gray floor for drink stores and wood floor for food stores.
I no
It would have
that
been neither.
no, I think it would have been red, terracotta
Would have
red.
been red.
Yeah.
Shiloh was right. I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys why. I think it's under here. Interior design. I'm sorry. And then there's a page, Miracle Materials. If you go to the Miracle Materials page, you can learn about the different floor. So the red floor we're talking about is the Vici deck covering.
Yep.
So there's just this little tiny paragraph about it because very little information. I've been able to find practically nothing about this floor covering. But it's basically a composite floor that is like it's poured onto the deck,
Yeah.
kind of like you might pour tar to
Or
smoothen out asphalt.
or even like resin. People pour resin over their garage floors to protect them.
Yeah,
So it's even
yeah.
like that, yeah.
And this Vici deck covering is the same kind of concept where it's something that you pour over the deck, and it's like a red color, like almost like a
I think
rusted red color.
I think it's literally terracotta red.
Yeah, terracotta. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's exactly what color it is. It's like a
And
terracotta red.
and it's interesting too because all the crew spaces had kind of a dado look because the lower half of the walls were seafoam green and then the top were white. And that's how you
Yeah,
know when you start entering spaces of the ship that have that seafoam green and white, that's how you know you're in a crew area.
yeah, and then the red floors.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so you can also learn about the floorings used in the passenger spaces, such as corkoid and rubolium. And then there's a bit on teacoid, but they didn't use very much teacoid on the ship. Well, I mean, in comparison to the other two, there's probably like a mile of teacoid on the ship. But yeah, most of the ship's floors were either corkoid or rubolium,
William. Yeah.
and you can learn about them. They're very similar, very very similar.
They look the same too.
Yeah. Um, So, welcome, Shaz. Arnaud says, what happened to the boiler room's ventilation? There is the huge air vent, but what happened to the room on D deck? Some of the rooms are still there. Some of the ventilation rooms for the boiler rooms. Yeah. I don't have any photographs of them, but like, for instance, I think I did something. I was working on that page recently. Yeah. By recently, I mean like 2 or 3 months ago, but let's see. It would have been C deck. So let's click on C deck. There we go. As you can see, the deck plan is not color coded yet, and that means that I'm not done enough with this page to consider the page done. So I didn't.
Or we just don't even have information to put in there.
Yeah, that's the problem with this level. So I have, like, you know,
there's a black and white picture what I was talking about right there.
Yeah. So in this black and white picture, what you would have seen was the red Vici deck covering floors. Then, like Shiloh said, you would have had the seafoam green dotto, and then you would have had the cream color upper walls.
And I think that little baseboard trim is black.
The down here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I believe it was made of linoleum.
Or rubber.
Or rubber, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this photograph is of the working alley called Burma Road.
Yep.
And Titanic had Scotland Road, Queen Mary had Burma Road. But there's so little information.
There's so little photographs too. I don't think I even have a color photograph that's original.
Yeah.
The only color photos I have are taken in present day.
Yeah. And I have, information on the printing shop and how that worked. I do have information on the ship's hospital and a little bit of information on the food stores. And a little bit of information on the engineer's mess hall. I've even left notes for myself so I know where to find that information again when I need to work on it. But other than that, this page is probably just naturally going to be very light all the time because there's so little information currently available to us to really talk about these crew areas.
Right.
But yeah, but as soon as we do have information, whenever we find it, we'll put it on the website. But yeah, there's a few things on this page that I could work on. But as far as the ventilation rooms, I believe some of them are on D deck, but a lot of them were on C deck.
Yeah, there were a good number of them there, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have anything on D deck yet because there's really nothing to talk about on D deck.
Yeah. I do apologize, but I do have to go now. It's
he has to go.
It's 2:20, but I wish I could stay longer. But next time we do one of these, I'll be here for sure.
Yeah. In fact, you guys, I think I'm gonna end the live stream too because I do have to go as well. But yeah. Anyway, folks, hopefully next time I do a live stream, it'll be a lot more put together than it was today. This was just so last minute and stuff, but thank you, Shiloh, for joining me, and especially at such last-minute notice.
I know. Yeah. But, yep, it's been a pleasure being here, as usual.
All right, folks, and be sure to check out RMSQM Wiki. It's available. It's free to everybody. There's no ads or anything like that. Information is in the description below. Give this video a like, subscribe for more content, and thank you all for watching. We'll see you all next time, everybody.